played the soon-to-be two-time league MVP to a standstill.
Third turnover for the Thunder. Smart, lob, catch, rejected! Hachimura keeps the ball moving, swing it inside, and James couldn't finish it.
And he goes right at the chest of Hartenstein and missed the layup badly. He's now 1 for 7 in the paint.
And Bron gave you 23, 6, and 6 on 50-37 splits.
James against Caruso for the lead. No! Rebound, Hartenstein. There's the buzzer, and the Thunder have won and swept and are headed to the Western Conference Final.
That one right there made me the greatest player of all time. That's what I felt.
Listen, when you look at LeBron James's NBA career from year 1 all the way through year 23, the conversation has always circled back to one thing. Compared to Michael Jordan, he's not better, and he's definitely not greater. And now, at age 41, after a 4th career sweep and a major flameout, that gap between LeBron James and Michael Jordan only seems to have widened even further.
They're going to take another 3. It's short. James with the catch. Oh, he missed the layup.
22-11 Oklahoma City run. LeBron for 3.
Not looking at, my year as a disappointment, that's for damn sure.
Now listen, let's make one thing very, very clear. LeBron James losing to the Oklahoma City Thunder isn't some smoking gun that automatically decides he isn't the GOAT. But what it is just another piece added to the pile of reasons people use to argue he's still not above Michael Jordan and not the greatest of all time. Now hold up. When you look at the LeBron fan base, who exactly is still saying he's the GOAT? This guy, late in his career, what's the go-to excuse every time he comes up short in Los Angeles? We already know the script. He's old. He's been 35, then 37, and now we're sitting at 41. Look at LeBron fans for a second. That age excuse, that's the same textbook answer they fall back on every single time. And one thing I've got to point out, when it comes to Michael Jordan, that same kind of energy, that same level of excuse-making just doesn't exist.
Be the GM, coach, and star player of the Wizards.
And he was bad at all of them. Michael Jordan was not playing in year 20. And he stopped at 15.
Well, but when he stopped...
we saw when he stopped in Washington.
Yeah.
We saw those 2 years. No, let's not pretend they didn't happen.
So we can't keep throwing out his age all the time, every time things don't go right. That's his decision to want to play this long.
Even when things go well, you're in awe that a 41-year-old is doing this because we've never seen it before.
Yeah, obviously.
So even the mere fact that he's playing, because normally when guys are playing, you look at Vince Carter. Guys are average 5 points, 3 points a game.
Yeah.
He's 20.
Let's stop right there for a second for all the hardcore LeBron James fans bringing up Wizards-era Mike. I mean, they're literally frothing at the mouth, ready to tear him down, ready to criticize anything he does. Doesn't matter if he's 38, 39, or 40 to these guys. At that point, Michael Jordan is fair game every single time. And to quote Nick Wright, was he still effing playing? Because for Wizards-era MJ, if he's on the floor and active, somehow it either hurts his legacy or helps it depending on how he performs. Now this right here is where the big LeBron contradiction really shows up. MJ's Washington years get called failures, and people go in non-stop, hypercritical, no mercy. But when it comes to LeBron James over the last 6 years and the way things have gone in Los Angeles, that same energy suddenly disappears. And if we're talking failures, here's why people argue it's even worse than Wizards Mike. First off, what team are we talking about here? The Los Angeles Lakers are the biggest spotlight franchise in the entire league. To put it in baseball terms, the Lakers are the Yankees and the Wizards are closer to the Cincinnati Reds. The expectations and standards are just not in the same universe. Now, bullet point number 2, LeBron's help in LA compared to MJ's in Washington is completely different. When you look at LeBron's teams, you've had Anthony Davis, Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, and even Russell Westbrook at different points. We're talking all-stars and even Hall of Fame level talent around him. Meanwhile, in Washington, MJ had guys like Jerry Stackhouse one year and Rip Hamilton the next. Now, reason number 3, hype and expectations. Look at MJ in Washington. Nobody was expecting championships or even finals runs, but with LeBron in LA, multiple times the roster and expectations were championship or bust, with predictions to win it all.
Not an all-time, but a good NBA Finals. Lakers in 6. Broussard, Brandon, and even my buddy Kevin Wildes laughed at me when I said a month ago was, the Lakers don't need Anthony Davis every series of the postseason.
Paul outside.
I think the Lakers will be in the finals. And I wouldn't be shocked if the Lakers win the title. What I don't want to have happen is, once again, LeBron stack deck. You've got Russ. You've got Anthony Davis. How much help does he need? Lakers winning the West, winning the title, and then that GOAT debate that we were having before, that's over there. This was a very, very bad matchup for the Nuggets. After watching game 1, my caution is gone, and my optimism is boundless.
Finds James, takes a pass, falling away, baseline shot, side of the backboard.
Wow.
The Los Angeles.
6,
not even 7.
In 6.
I guess they got
Two exclamation points. Curry's got 12 here in the 4th. Defender falls. LeBron.
Like I've said over and over again, fans of LeBron James are both his biggest advocates and at times his biggest Achilles heel. When you look at people like Nick Wright and Shannon Sharp, they're hyping LeBron up non-stop, talking rings 5, 6, and beyond before the finals even start. And when those predictions don't hit, it doesn't just blow back on them, it turns into egg on their face and, unfair or not, drags LeBron into that overhyped conversation. And here's one more thing I need to hammer home. Once again, look at the Washington Wizards and that whole Michael Jordan context. That team was never operating with championship expectations. They weren't being projected for finals runs or multiple titles. The 02 Wizards ended their first year. Their title odds were 14th in the league, middle of the pack. Their win-loss over-under had them around 20th, near the bottom half. In 03, it was basically the same story, 14th in title odds again, still middle tier. Their win-loss over-under bumped slightly to 18th, just a small rise. Looking at that team right there, what can we all clearly see? There were no real championship hopes, no finals expectations, no deep playoff pressure when you actually evaluate success or failure at the player level. Michael Jordan in Washington came into a team that before him had just 19 wins total. Now, fast forward, the Los Angeles Lakers in 2019 or the team LeBron joined in the NBA. And when you break down that specific year, the 2019 Lakers had the 4th highest title odds, and their win-loss over-under sat around 7th in the entire league. So that team is not making a deep playoff run. Yeah, that's already disappointing, but missing the playoffs completely, that's a massive failure. He's not wrong. Now moving past 2019, look at 2022, an even bigger disappointment, an even bigger mark on the record. That Lakers roster had the so-called Big Three of Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and Russell Westbrook. On paper, that's a serious trio, but when you zoom into the depth, it looks stacked. You had Malik Monk, Carmelo Anthony, Austin Reeves, Avery Bradley, and Dwight Howard. That 2022 team had title odds ranked 2nd in the entire NBA, and their win-loss over-under placed them 3rd. This was a roster with clear championship expectations, and even the analysts had them pegged to reach the finals and potentially win it all.
Win the championship next year.
Granny, listen, asking me that question is like asking me, am I going to finish my plate of food? And the answer is hell yeah.
You cannot tell me that you're about to have LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, Anthony Davis, Carmelo Anthony, Rajon Rondo, Dwight Howard, Trevor Ariza, all of these players, and you're telling me that they're not going to have a 60-win season? Please.
The expectations around the Los Angeles Lakers in 2021 and 2022 were completely out of control. I was watching that 2021 squad and they were already being projected as title favorites by like game 2 of the regular season. And when you look at 2022 with the so-called Big Three of Russ, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis, they were talked as championship contenders from day one. Then by the end of it all, what actually happened? A total, absolute disaster. Just look at LeBron James's Lakers run overall. The bright moments, the elite moments, they're few and far between. What you see way more often are massive postseason collapses, and that's the uncomfortable truth in all of this. Look at 2021, a first-round exit to the Phoenix Suns. In 2022, they didn't even make the playoffs. In 2023, they got swept in the Western Conference Finals. In 2024 and 2025, it was back-to-back first-round exits. And in 2026, once again, another sweep in the second round. Look at those 6 years right there. How do you honestly call that successful or even remotely solid? Yes, LeBron James's numbers were still there statistically, but when we talk about true impact, the kind that leads to championships, from 2021 to 2026, it just wasn't there. And again, if you're going to label Michael Jordan's Washington era as a failure and a black mark, then you have to look at LeBron's 6-year stretch too. It's argued to be even more damaging in comparison. Correct. So yeah, that right there is basically the video's core argument. And I'll say one last thing. Being a LeBron James fan in 2026 has to be pretty difficult when you stack it up against the Michael Jordan comparisons. Sure, you can throw shots at his career and pick apart certain moments here and there. Michael Jordan, of course, wasn't flawless, but he never gave critics easy ammo the way some fans try to claim. In fact, a lot of the same criticisms thrown at Jordan end up hitting LeBron even harder in comparison. For example, look at Michael Jordan losing in the first round 3 times. That's not great at all. But then you look at LeBron James and he's also had 3 first-round losses. You might point out that Jordan got swept twice. That's true. But then you also have to acknowledge that LeBron has been swept 4 times. Michael Jordan missed the playoffs twice in his career. LeBron James has missed the playoffs 4 times. Last but not least, Jordan had 9 seasons where he didn't win a championship. And yeah, that can be seen as a negative depending on how you frame it. But when you look at LeBron James, you're not winning a championship right now. Thanks for watching and subscribing to my channel.